Now we will discuss 17th question that is asked in the UPSC Prelims 2017 exam is right to vote and to be elected in India is a what right? Whether fundamental right, natural right, constitutional right, legal right. Right to vote is neither a fundamental right nor constitutional right. It is simply a legal right. So answer is D. So the legal right means a rights provided by law or an act. So the right to vote is a legal right provided to the people of India by means of Representation of People's Act 1950. How legal rights and fundamental rights differs from each other? Legal rights are derived from ordinary laws framed by the legislature, whereas fundamental rights is provided as a result of the recognition of Constituent Assembly. So the fundamental rights are mentioned in the Constitution where they are protected from any violation from any authority. Legal rights can be taken away by state according to its will, whereas fundamental rights are protected by the constitutional procedures and fundamental rights cannot be taken away easily. You may ask one question: what is the basic difference between the fundamental rights and constitutional rights? One point you should remember: all fundamental rights are constitutional rights, whereas all constitutional rights are not fundamental rights. This is one important point you should remember. Once again, we are repeating: all fundamental rights are constitutional rights, whereas all constitutional rights are not fundamental rights. Constitutional rights are the rights provided by the Constitution of the state on the citizens. One more point or the difference between fundamental right and constitutional right is that for the violation of the fundamental right, any individual can directly approach a Supreme Court under Article 32. So for violation of the fundamental right, a person can directly approach the Supreme Court under Article 32, whereas for the violation of the constitutional right, the affected party or person can only approach the High Court under Article 226. Is the another difference between constitutional right and fundamental right. What is natural right? Natural right is nothing but any right that exists by virtue of natural law. By virtue of natural law. So the natural rights are the rights that given by the natural law. For example, right to vote cannot be the natural right. For example, if a person born as a human in India and becomes citizen, means by virtue of natural right he can't get the right to vote. If he involves in the criminal activities, his voting rights can be cancelled by the law and he can be debarred from contesting elections. So right to vote and to get elected in India is not a fundamental right, not a constitutional right, not a natural right. It is simply a legal right provided under the Representation of People's Act 1950.